Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
All right, here it is, Wednesday, my dudes, and we got some questions for you to answer, Ian. You're going to answer the questions, so we have answers to your questions.
Yep, these questions come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
We left off in the K's, so let's pick back up with Caleb. We know that Movie Sonic is a DC fan, and his favorite character is either the Flash or Batman. What Sonic character has a favorite superhero or comic book character in general, DC or otherwise?
I kind of see Tails being a Green Lantern fan.
I was going to say Tails probably, Tails like somebody. I'm not sure who, but Green Lantern fits.
Like the idea of being able to do what you want via your own willpower and be able to just construct things from your own imagination. I could see him envying that and wanting that and enjoying that kind of superhero escapism.
Mm-hmm.
Rouge is a fan of Catwoman. Doesn't understand why she hangs out with that stick in the mug Batman. Just stick to stealing the jewels, honey.
Maybe Amy's favorite is Thor.
Enjoys the hammer.
Big hammer.
Then she really likes Norse mythology. Surprise. Nah, I mean, seriously, though, I could see her wanting to be a Valkyrie.
Yeah. Or Jane Foster Thor, yeah.
Shadow likes all the old, pulpy, noir comics from back in the day. They just don't write them like they used to anymore.
The Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow likes the Shadow.
I mean, Vector is canonically a comic collector, so he likes them all. He's got them boxed, he's got them boarded.
Or the Phantom, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Probably just because he wants to sell them off one day, and why did the bubble have to burst back in the aughts? Nobody has the heart to tell Charmy that the coloring book is not a comic book, but you know what? He's entertained, so just give it to him.
Yeah, just let him have it.
SBO only prefers superior manga, thank you very much.
What a nerd.
Silver's greatly looking forward to the issue, his favorite issue, which hasn't come out yet, but it was one of the last things that survived to his time. So when it comes out, it's going to be great. You'll see.
Let's see. Who's the Deadpool fan?
Cream.
Oh, yeah, of course. Suppose that shouldn't be a surprise.
You ask Vanilla if she's okay with this, and she's like, of course, she knows better than to use that language. Besides, he's hilarious. No. Shadow would be more into like 90s era Cable.
Oh.
Guns and pouches.
Or Punisher.
Guns and pouches.
Punisher. Yeah. 90s Punisher. Same thing. Really. Or Cable. Yeah. Either one. Wow. Yeah. Too many guns. Not enough guns. Needs more gun. Omega's also into those because more gun. Much DACA.
I think that's good for now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of more, but no, I think it's good. We got a question here from Noni. What is the general PSI of a chow bite? Is it on the lower end, like a house cat or a human, which is about 70 to 160 PSI? Or is it closer to something like a saltwater or Nile crocodile, about 3,000 to 5,000 PSI? Or is it even higher, like a piranha, about 20,000 PSI? Follow-up question, if it is in the higher echelons of bite force, how many minutes does it take for a pack of chow to strip an average Mobian down to the bone?
I think we could actually figure this out if we knew the whole density of a chow nut.
Okay.
It's very basic polygon, so we don't know what its texture or its outer coating is like, or if it's just one solid fruit throughout, but it's called a nut. So you would imagine it has some kind of rigidity to it. And if you look at a hungry chow tear through that thing, they just kind of just blaze through its entire contents, leaving nothing behind. So, and we also need to take into account their hunger factor, if they're a power type, because that would probably put an extra bit of oomph behind their bite force. What their alignment is, because dark chow naturally have serrated teeth. It's a bigger question than I think you're letting on.
It's hard to say, but it's probably a lot. Here's a question from Nova Poly Duo. Purely out of curiosity, if a chow had managed to take on the characteristics of laser, drill, rocket, hover, cube, spikes, and a frenzy wisp, would they become a final color blaster chow? Possibly stronger than even a chaos chow?
I greatly appreciate the way you read that.
Thank you. I have to read it correctly.
Well, yeah. In terms of raw power, yeah, that thing should be brimming with energy. I imagine it's just this kind of constantly cycling rainbow spectrum of Chow. It doesn't so much move as it just appears in different parts throughout the garden.
Oh, no.
And the race starts, it's won.
No, the race doesn't even start and it wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Chaos Chow are immortal, but all color Chow is omnidimensional.
Yes. Banana Cat has a question. Gentlemen, I have a question of the utmost importance. Whose tail is fluffier, Tails or Tangles?
Tails.
Yeah.
And look at the volume for length. He's got two big old fluffer dusters back there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tangles is more compact. It's fluffy, sure, but it can't be too floofy. Otherwise, it limits the amount of surface area it has to wrap around things. And as it stretches out, it's just going to become thinner.
Yeah. Tangles makes a good scarf, though.
Oh, sure. Nice and dense, warm.
Yep. Here's a question from Saving Throws. The Phantom Ruby caused a large amount of destruction. The tiny icosahedron created over the course of 2 games and a DLC. But the Phantom Ruby doesn't appear on screen in Sonic Forces at all. There's mention of it. Infinite seems to be controlled by it. But seriously, nada. Not even in the reactor core of Eggman's Imperial Fortress, the Death Egg robot, or even the eyeballs of the Nega-Wisp phantom armor thing that xenomorphs its way out of the Death Egg robot's chest. They're all copies, replicas, prototypes, and fakes. Played the game multiple times and came up with nothing, so here's my question. Ian, did you have any resistance bringing the stone into the Forces comics? If not, what was the process like for you and the crew to dabble with the stone that never appeared on screen in the game the comic tied to?
No, because those were basically directed by SEGA. They gave me the plot line, so I followed it and wrote the script.
Yeah, so their decision to not actually have the real Phantom Ruby in the game was their own decision. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Here's one from Scourge Time. Got any nice ideas for a Scourge the Hedgehog 06 story? Like what would happen if Scourge met Auntie Elise? Would she try to use him to break free of Iblis? And what kind of role would Auntie Mephiles play?
Okay, see, the twist here is you put Auntie Elise into the mix. It's not Scourge in the Prime universe going through 06. This is Auntie 06.
Yeah, yes.
So instead of a horribly repressed girl who is loving by nature but can't express herself for fear of losing emotional control and unleashing the flames of destruction, Auntie Elise has been trying for years to unlock her emotions just so she can burn everything down. But she's a complete sociopath, so she can't cry. Okay. And so she goes on her adventure with Scourge to find a way to elicit some emotion so that she can finally destroy Soliana, as she's always dreamed of.
All right. And Auntie Mephiles is just the hero to stop her?
Oh, he's desperate to keep Iblis sealed away. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
They were separated for a reason.
Yep.
Can you imagine the devastation that will come to the future? So you've got Mephiles 200 years down the line in the burning, ruined future, seeking out Anti-Silver, going, look, you need to go back. You need to kill Scourge. You need to stop this from happening, buddy. I'm not even going to be coy about it. It's this guy. Here's a photo. Go get him.
Well, good thing he's Anti-Silver.
Yeah, Anti-Silver shows up before Scourge and Auntie Elise and goes, I've been sent back in time to save the future, but don't wanna. You need help?
Oh, no.
Is going, no.
Good job, Mephiles. Never send me files to do a job. Can't do anything right.
So finally, they find a way to get Elise to unleash Iblis. But Mephiles has been gathering up enough anarchy barrel at this point to fuse into Anti-Solaris. And instead of destroying time, he just winks himself out of reality because he's not going to let the future fall.
It's very useful. That's Anti-Silver. It's super useful.
It's a reasonable thing to accomplish.
Sure. Put tons of words into his mouth for a very... You can do it. Yeah, he's very... It's like weirdly uplifting for the evil version of Silver. Even the evil version of Silver is still kind of a good boy. And then Anti-Shadow is just chilling. Next question is from Scruffy Matt. I was wondering if the cutscene introducing Tails in Sonic Origins is when Sonic and Tails first met, or if they already knew each other at that point. My headcanon in the past was that Sonic knew Tails for a while before their adventure in Sonic 2, and that the other Sonic 2, the one where Tails is kidnapped and Robotnik fails to drown Sonic in lava, came before its 16-bit counterpart. But Sonic Origins story suggests that Sonic goes from Sonic 1 to Sonic CD to Sonic 2 to Sonic 3 and Knuckles with no other adventures in between. Is this correct? If so, that would place the 8-bit Sonic 2 either prior to Sonic 1 16-bit or after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, right? Seems a bit weird that Robotnik would be asking for 6 Chaos Emerald as ransom after games where Super Sonic was a thing, though.
Yeah, Sonic Origins is the now definitive beginning of the Sonic series. Sonic 1 is the first, and then CD and 2 and 3 and Knuckles. For the Game Gear game stories, don't think too hard about it. They weren't written with any kind of timeline in mind, so there might be some gentle retconning in the works.
Well, I guess that's where we're going to take a quick break. So let's go ahead and do that, and then come back with more BumbleKast. We're back, and Scurvy Pirate Dog has a question. Say, with Tangle the Lemur, I think it's safe to say she's digging the kind of lifestyle Sonic has. Smashing robots, going on adventures, etc., etc. So it got me thinking, how do you suppose Tangle would handle it if she suddenly got all the same powers as Sonic? Would she even be able to handle it? Would any of us even be safe? No.
I think she'd like it at first because, woo-ha, that kind of speed and agility at your disposal. But I think she'd eventually grow tired of it because at that kind of speed, she can launch herself off just about any incline and get more air than any of her normal swinging and slingshotting. And she likes that. She prefers the little bit of mid-air geometry she needs to do to usually successfully land where she wants. She likes the swinging. She likes the recoil. And just going fast and boosting off walls, it isn't the same.
Yeah, not as fun. Here's a question from Sequoia. In the first Tales Tube video, a picture of Tangle can be seen, and Spiral Hill was mentioned. Were these just fun little nods to the comics, or does it reflect that the comics may have some influence on the game canon?
I wouldn't say the comics have an influence on the game canon, but modern Sonic is pretty much just modern Sonic at this point.
Hashtag knowing smile, huh? I see. Sonic Padge has a question. New Best Girl Surge has me unendingly fascinated with real-world Tenrix. I discovered in my research that Tenrix takes sand baths instead of bathing in water, and that if you try to uncurl them, they will bite you with their serrated teeth, which they have in real life as well. This got me thinking. Since Surge is an electric type, does she take sand baths as well, and would she actually bite anyone with her terrifying teeth?
Well, I think we can all just assume that last one for sure. As for sand baths, maybe. I mean, I don't see her as the type to actually go looking to bathe on a regular basis.
Ew.
Yeah, Kit's like, I think you need to just for your own personal health and hygiene. She's like, fine, grabs a handful of sand, grinds it under her pits. There, I exfoliated. What more do you want? She just electrifies herself to burn off any filth.
Okay, that could work. Could work. Stinky. Here's a question from Speedweed. There's so much background lore within Metroid that we only barely know of, from the Malkin tribe and their own history within the greater Metroid universe, the Talon 4 tribe of Chozo, and even the implied Chozo gods, to the Galactic Federation and the bounty hunters that roam the galaxy. There's so much I can barely cover with just one question. I know you haven't played the Prime Trilogy in a bit, and I'm assuming your lore isn't entirely on par as your Sonic lore with this question, but I must know, If you could take any aspect of the Chozo, what is that one bit of Chozo lore you'd absolutely love to delve into that you feel has been quite expanded upon compared to what we know of the Chozo today? Likewise, what's some aspect of Metroid's Galaxy you feel you'd love to just dig right into that you personally feel could be given a bit more depth?
I am content to let the Chozo be as they are. I kind of like them being this mysterious quasi-higher power that nobody quite knows what they're doing or what they were, what they did. They can't quite figure out their tech, and you keep stumbling upon the relics of their bad ideas and dealing with it. I kind of like it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What was introduced in Dread, tying all that together, I think is fine because it ties personally to Samus. It's part of her origin, part of her creation, and part of her placement within the Chozo that raised her and were part of her life. But that's because it's part of Samus' story. That's fine. The greater Chozo experience, I kind of like being unexplored. That little air of mystery to it of who were they, what happened, and all that. I like it as it is, to be honest. What I would like to know more of are the space pirates. And we got a taste of that in Prime 3 with their homeworld. And I really hate in sci-fi when the alien race is completely homogenous.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You know, all the Wookiees are like this, all the Hutts are like this, all the Vulcans are like this. And just, sure, there are consistencies within a species, but when you get to the sapient level that we are at, there should be more variety. So the space pirates being a universal force of mad science evil is still fun. You know, they make for a nice bad guy to blow up, and they're horrible insect people, so that also is fun to shoot. So get into the mindset of that. I liked that in the Prime games, it's implied that they innately kind of gravitate towards individuals that they see as stronger and commanding, which is why they ultimately gravitate towards Dark Samus rather than try to kill her. And, you know, what is it about them that does that? Are they a hive mind at their most basic biology, and that affects their actual mental processes? Have they mad scienced themselves to a point where they have become victims of their own mad science, and that's why they're so susceptible to it? You know, how does the hierarchy work? How does creatures like Kraid and Ridley command them? Were they space pirates made more? Were they just creatures in the abyss who, kind of like Dark Samus, were sought after in the name of mad science and then took over a contingent? How does it work? That's what I want to get into. I don't need like the full political spectrum of every space pirate dynasty that's ever existed, but I want to get into why they work. And once that's established, cool, that's what it is, and go back to blast them with the plasma beam. But I want to understand how they tick just a little bit more.
Yeah, space pirates are cool. I would like to see more about them, too. Here's a question from Steph Cube. Imagine this. Sonic, Tails, Tangle, and Jewel are on a mission in Labyrinth Zone, but a disaster occurs and they get separated, leaving Sonic with Jewel and Tangle with Tails. Since the two flying guys have experience with their own hyperactive friend, how would they work well as a team to get out of the maze? Could Jewel keep up with Sonic? Would Tails coordinate well with Tangle?
This is borderline fan idea again, but it's open-ended. There's no conclusion to it. It's not like a full plot line. So still, guys, really be careful with this. This is the second episode this week we've had to touch on it. We may have to start screening these and refunding if we absolutely have to. So please, 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 please don't do that. As for mixing and matching, I feel like they'd work together fairly well. You know, each of them respect each other as friends. Jewel has experience wrangling Tangle, so she would be able to get through to Sonic and say, okay, this is what we need to do to get out. And Tails has had enough experience managing Sonic that he can get Tangle to listen to him on how they need to get out. So it'd be a fun interpersonal bit of relationship, but it wouldn't be much of a peril for any of the pairs.
Nah, they'll figure it out.
not much peril, if you will. Yeah, let's move on.
Superior Pizza has a question. So, how would a monkey Mobian react to humans saying, "Reject humanity, return to monkey"? Would they be offended, or would they feel pride that another species that technically evolved from them wishes to return to their primate origins?
This feels like I'm walking into a minefield.
This is a little bit of a weird question.
It does beg the question of if Mobians, for lack of a better term, and humans share a common ancestor, or if they are completely divergent lines. Do all Mobians stem from a central anthropomorphic form, or are we just thinking all species at some point decided to go upright? I think it's more of a question of just how in the world did evolution work in this incarnation of Earth before we can even remotely approach this question, which I'm probably taking far too seriously. But that's what I do. That's what this show is. So there you go.
I mean, reject humanity, return to monkey is just a meme, I'm pretty sure.
I know. But it can get real loaded real fast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is it's a strange question. Appreciate the strange questions sometimes. It's definitely strange. Strange. And finally, our last priority question this week comes to us courtesy of Windstar Osprey. When Mimic still worked with the Cutters, how did he pass himself off as a good guy, or at least semi-decent? Was he the oddball with the off-color sense of humor? Fries up takoyaki for everyone, only for Smithy to notice he got a haircut? Or did he just come off as having a hidden heart of gold?
It was also that takoyaki thing. Ew. No, why'd you say that? The mix of the Diamond Cutters were they were all efficient. They all got the job done, and they all, did what they were supposed to do. And Mimic's particular role as the infiltrator and the kind of guy on the side meant he was never really put in a position where his loyalty to the team was put into question. They needed him to get in, unlock the door, do some skullduggery so that they can go in and tear stuff up, and then they all get out. That worked. He did what everyone expected him to do. He didn't raise a fuss over it. And he is an infiltrator by nature, so he knows how to get along with people if he needs to, if he has to. So, yeah, he just kind of, I don't want to say he played the group, because I don't think it was a conscious effort to deceive them this entire time. Like, he didn't plot on destroying the team from within. It's just when he got caught by Eggman and he was given the opportunity to save his own skin, he went for it because that was the most pragmatic thing to do.
Alrighty. Well, that's all we got for today. So we'll have more tomorrow and Friday.
That's right. The whole week of BumbleKast goodness keeps rolling straight on to Saturday with the live session Q&A. But for now, we need to give a big thank you to all our patrons and the folks who sponsored this episode. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Home, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Mike B., Dave M., Coupling Crew 128, Duiz Disden, Jay Frost, Luchacat, Andrew D., Hero of Light 13, Scruffy Matt, Ryan D., Chris A., Sony, John M., Noni, Jib, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Fiona M., Chevelle, Invade Turbo Tunis, Ben W., Blue Title Gamer, Keeper of Monsters, Tick Tick, Axis, Xanderoni the Painter, Final, Neil Scurvy, Pirate Honk, Jonathan Inkpants is missing his actual pants. The name is X. Justin S. Solaris Stain, Nimric, Godzilla, Dadler the Dalek, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Ava Arctic, Pedantic Cat, Dove, Red the Super Namek, Arcfighter, Quaggle Gaggle, Chad, Nondle, Professor Rye, Jack the Animator, Cameron H., Les, Jennifer H., Sapphire Scarletta, Alphamon or Yukon, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Preston M., Sonic 84, Noah S., Finest Cacophony, Alex GS, Kojiro Highwind, Supersonic Fan, Awesome Cakester, Radry, Jolene B, Chase L, Dapper Shinks, Just a Mountain Soul, Callum Q, Red Wolf, Ty H, Starsec, and Tails, Maddie H, KJB, John the Real Waluigi, Derusiful, In Zephyr, Cosmic Cooking Hunter 77, Mox the Marble Gardener, Owen BD, Lemur Chicken, Wild 48, T Ranger, Twillard, King Toasty, Miles the Prower, Navari, Exadel, Agent Kaz, Force Sonic Fan, Lewis J, Michael P, Rhythm Raccoon, Fenris Asger, Pap, Delta God 77, Miggy Sawdust, Pig Dan 20, Ty Cyan, Jamal S., Curly Quills, Ozjam, Shimmy M., Josiah H., Angela V., Lacey M., Unlikely Veronica, Caleb, Phi, Nova Polyduo, Timon B., Thievius, Smiley21, The Flower Garden, Sammy S., A Seer Warns of a Deadly Fate, Bowser Studio, Tetsunai, Fang the Werehog, Crowbo, Sonic Mania 2099, Thigolf, Shumps, Hadronis, Nils, Chaos Sonic 1, Sky the Desu, Supernova, Indabend, The Discaean, Superior Pizza, Charlie B., Chaos Shadow, Sonic Padge, Speedweed, Butter Noodles, Frost the White Line, Danny the Light, Ryoko Shin, Phelps G, Metamode, and Wheels 282 Hedgehog.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us, for giving up your hard-earned cash and your time and everything else that you do for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We will see you tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And so until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care.
1, 2, 1, 2. I'll answer all your questions here on the BumbleKast. The BrambleKast, skip it.
The Bramble Blast. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. You ready to keep going?
Let's knock it out.
All right. Scurvy Pirate Dog has a question. Oh, we're back. And,
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Sorry. Sorry.